Hello everyone and welcome. Yes, my name is Arafire and welcome back to an impromptu episode of Look Out and Shout. It's that time again when you are living on this side of the Atlantic, you go to sleep, you wake up the following morning and find out there's been a ton of reveals at, of course, TFCon in Los Angeles. There is a third-party panel that's been released. We've seen some figures that have been put online, so I won't be going into some of those today, but we've also seen some brand new stuff from the likes of Fanstoys, Fans Hobby, Iron Factory as well. There's actually quite a lot of Iron Factory, so I won't go through all of them today, but I will put a link in the description below for you to go and look at your heart's content. But today we've got a lot to get through. Let's get cracking with the knacking. No shock. So straight away we come in with Newage, and they have shown a release of Powerglide. Now this is quite a nice little stubby looking chap. They've got all of the accessories you could probably want, in that we probably have a flight arm there. It looks very small, but also the alien goblin symbiote like face from the one weird G1 episode. But as a figure, he looks nice. He possibly looks not much bigger than the original G1 toy, but I do like the red paint. Newage does do paint very well. We also go into the typical spray of repaints when it comes with Newage. We have, is it a shattered glass version? I'm not entirely sure. It's a grey and a tealy blue or a metallic blue. It looks nice. I'm just not really familiar as to what it is. I'm going to say shattered glass. And we also have a third repaint, and this just reminds me of the Straxus colours that came out when they did, I think it was Newage that did it, when they did the remolds of Megatron, when they did the remolds of Galvatron. So it's that kind of red and blue colour scheme. It looks nice, but again, I'm not familiar with it of the Powerglide mould. But it's typical Newage. They do one figure and they automatically release the repaints out with it as well. But this is a little bit different. We have the boss episode, the Frankenstein Spike, and this is looking really good, considering of course it doesn't transform. It never did in the original cartoon, but that is pretty on point. I'm not a Legends collector, but looking at the facial descriptions, the hunch, the articulation, yeah, that's gonna be a must-have for a lot of people. That is really on point for what it is. Moving on, we have what only appears to be digital renders of Huffer. There seems to be quite a few Huffers out now in the Masterpiece or Chug world, so this is going to be another one that also comes with his beloved repaint partner of Pipes, and again looks more like a digital drawing than an actual prototype. We also get Wind Charger, which looked quite nice in bot mode, but looks very nice in vehicle mode, again giving that penny racer kind of vibe, which Newage are really pushing the boundaries on at the moment, getting the really small Transformers with great paint adaptation and articulation as well. But this is a little bit interesting now. We have got more Dinobots, and here is Sludge. That looks lovely, doesn't it? Doesn't that look nice in both modes? And it's a shame they've sort of gone for the dark background. I guess that's their way of saying, look, this is still early. We want to work on it, so we don't want to show too much. But from what I can see, that looks pretty good. Very clean. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how the rest of them goes. Redosaurus? On to Fanstoys now, and we have got their Grumpy Gears. Now, they have touted this one before. We've actually got full colour shots now. This looks very near to completion and looks very nice if the Minibots is what you're after. This is FT56 Variator, which is a bit of an unnecessary name, but whatever. It looks good. Typical Fanstoys adaptation of paint and quality, I would imagine. He comes with a multi-purpose chest, like it folds up and you can see the gubbins underneath for when he was reprogrammed, and also some non-performing nozzle. We've all been there, haven't we? Vehicle mode looks fine for what it is. Again, I find the Minibots a little bit underwhelming in that there's not a lot you can really excel with. They are just small cars, however greatly detailed that they are. What Fanstoys are doing now, kind of as standard, is you get a magnitude of faceplates and head sculpts, and this is no exception. You've got every type of gears to really satisfy you. Arguably not with the Generation 1 toy, although the fourth one runs it very close with that really frowny face. But then again, he was a very frowny bot. Same story, different take. Here we have Diverge and their version of a Swerve. Now, I really like this. I like this for the fact that it's got a degree of really chromy thighs to it and feet as well. It seems to just pop a bit more, and yeah, I really like it. When you see the two of them stand by side, when they've got the rubble shot, the prototype shot, the promotion shot, I should say, that looks really cool, seeing the pair of them, and how you get various types of Swerve for your flavour. You can have a flatter head with two separate eyes, you can have a more chiselled head with a visor, and a more maroon coloured flatter head with separate eyes as well. I want to get this just because I think he would look very good on my IDW shelf, even though he's more of a G1 design. The vehicle mode is very bland, I will say that. There's not a lot of detail in there at all. If you put up the original G1 toy, I probably would have believed you. It still looks good when you get all of them together though. I love the little group shots, and I do like how he looks. Again, you've got multiple heads and faceplates, so it's one I will keep an eye on. They're mini bots, they're going through them, they're rattling through them, and I have got Powerglide on pre-order. I think this one might be coming to my collection, as the mini bots don't tend to cost as much as some of the other figures. But now we're on to arguably the headline, particularly from Fanstoys. Here we have full colour, probably final release shots of Inquisitor, their version of Scourge. That's a big hit. A lot of that is good. Now, okay, there's not a lot to choose from when it comes to Scourge. You've only got the X-Transbots offering. This completely overshadows that, and yeah, there's a lot you can say about this. The paint looks fantastic, as is Fanstoys' MO really, but even things like the shading on the inside of the wings I think looks really captivating. The pointiness of the feet, pointiness of the fingers, those hyper pink tips, the beaming red eyes, it looks great. The faceplates here, love it. You've got all the different types of faceplate, even the crying eyes one. What a weird thing to put in, but I suppose, yeah, he has had that expression before. That looks fantastic. Even the alt mode looks clean. I do think with the head popping up, and we know where it comes from the 86 movie, but is that just, rather than a head popping up through transformation, is that just one sitting on top? Maybe, but it's a nice feature. Of course he comes with Frankus, his target master, who's maybe looking a little slender, but he'll be there nevertheless. And you can get all three of these to really have an army of sweeps, although how could you ever tear them apart? It looks really, really good. He looks very good proportionately. Nice wide chest, good leg stance. He cleans up very well from the back. Yeah, I've got this on pre-order as well. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. And alongside Cyclonus, he looks like he's meant to be, and of course he should be. But when you get all three of them together, the Heralds of Unicron, that looks brilliant. That is a job very well done. Okay, away from Fanstoys and onto Metagate. Now Metagate, you might have seen on my channel recently, gave us the masterpiece representation of Pterosaur from Beast Wars. This is not that. Yeah, hard to spot, isn't it? This is Bumblebee-verse, Knight-verse, Optimus Prime in what has to be very, very small legend scale, and I cannot work this out. So it's a very small, very detailed Optimus Prime that transforms into a very flat running truck, but I can't work out why they've gone this way, and more importantly I can't work out why they've gone to this scale. Again, I'm not familiar with who Metagate are. As I said in my video, I think they're a brand new company. I haven't heard anything to the contrary. So why would you go from quite a decent masterpiece scale Beast Wars character to a Legends Movieverse character? There's not really a direction there. And okay, look, they're going to do it. They've also shown add-on parts for a bludgeon, which I'm going to say is a tease for a future release. I don't think this is an add-on kit necessarily, could be wrong. It's just a funny choice, and given the fact that Pterosaur wasn't that long ago, I would have thought more Beast Wars characters were to come, or certainly more Masterpiece figures were to come, not until the Legends market. Moving on to Fans Hobby next, and oh, haven't you been busy? Now, I am probably going to get these wrong. This is what I think to be Dreadwing, and we've seen a release of these before. This is more toy accurate colours, if I'm led to believe. Now, I'm happy to say at this point, I don't quite get this part of Transformers. This is sort of my detachment phase. I'm sure I'm going to get some of this wrong, so just bear with me on that one. But typical Fans Hobby quality, you're getting a lot of promotion shots as well. They do like to show you how they're going on. But, and this is where I think I've got this right, this is Darkwing, which looks fantastic, which looks hench, which Fans Hobby are very good at. They like to do big bots. And this is a first test shot, so it is subject to change, but it looks pretty far along for a prototype at this form. And the jet mode looks very nice as well. It looks like a good jet toy, to be honest, much less a Transformer. But then, combining the two, and this is where I do think I've got this right, this is Dreadwing and Darkwing combining together as the original toy did. I think I've got those names right, but I certainly do understand the premise, but it was a part of Transformers that I didn't particularly keep up with. It looks great though, and yeah, Fans Hobby have got their craft spot on. They know entirely what they want to do, and they set themselves out to do so, and yeah, that's going to be a very clunky couple of jets fused together. That's going to look great on anyone's shelf. But we're not done there. This is Overload. This is from the Armada, or the Unicron trilogy, and this is again very early in production, but when you see it kind of there in its vehicle mode, again, Fans Hobby just do hench bots, and again that looks quite far in production. They're moving along very nicely, very in keeping with the cartoons in that the minicons will be getting involved, and you see it alongside some of their releases, and this is going to be big stuff, because along with Naval Commander, their version of Optimus Prime from Armada, this combines into the Super Combine mode, and that is an eyesore. That's huge. I say that because I've got the Lightning Eagle, I've got their version of Thunderclash, and seeing this on top of that, that's already big. That's going to be, I mean, I really hope it holds. That's my only thing I'd say about it, particularly when you look at the back of them all combined, the back shot with all the tank treads. Okay, the turrets fold forward, but that's going to be very back heavy. I hope the ankles can take the weight. But for any of you Unicron trilogy fans out there, I think you're going to be very pleased with this offering. But we're not done, Unicron fans. Here is, and we kind of knew this would be coming, here is only a resin version of Armada Jetfire. Well, I don't think it's Armada Jetfire, is it? Is it Cybertron Jetfire? If I'm right, not so much Armada. But that looks very good in jet mode. And of course, it can be towed along by Overload. And that looks cool when you see them all together. Again, how big is this going to be? Overload didn't look small to begin with. So the fact him in jet mode just looks massive. All combined onto the trailer as he's being taken off to a shuttle launch site. But of course, we'll be able to power link with Optimus Prime. This is probably going to be the way it's always going to go, and we have seen Tidal Wave tease with the same kind of way for Megatron. That's going to be fantastic. I don't know if I'll get this because I don't have Naval Commander, but I did always like this version of Jetfire, particularly in shuttle mode. I liked how it looked. So yeah, Fans Hobby again, just pushing all the boundaries, particularly when it comes to big bots. So next we have Vectronlabs, and there's a few shots here, but we've seen a few shots online as well. I wanted to include this because I think there's been a bit of negative press around them, and arguably deservedly so. They've been very quiet, very coy, and there's rumours of one, who they are, and what scale this was going to be. Now, we saw the likes of Rising Force, was it, who tried to do a masterpiece version of Menasor and the Stunticons, who have then changed their mind and decided to go Legend scale. I wondered if Vectronlabs will go the same way with their Devastator, but they're showing us quite a bit that's not finished, and I wonder if this was just a way of quashing any rumours. So this is their Scrapper. We've seen a few shots of this recently, looking a bit more along in production, but as at TFCon yesterday, we saw a lot more detailed shots and in-hand images. You can see from the back the detailing this is going on here, and how far down the line this is. How this is going to involve things like AV crunches, showing really its wares and what it can do. alongside MP36, alongside a Masterpiece Megatron, to really give you the assurance this will be Masterpiece grade, this will be Masterpiece scale at the very least. There was some art images that were released, which we've seen these sort of things before, but they were hidden in secret, masked and shadowed. We can see here that it says Devastator full set. You've got all 6 G1 Constructicons with a G1 Devastator in the back saying estimated end of work time line end 2024. The thing that I think is quite telling about this is that this is a G1 image. And this is telling me, as if the original resins didn't tell us, this is going to be a G1 styled set. This is going to be a G1 Devastator, not a stylized one, which from the other molds and releases and promotion shots we didn't really have a lot to go on. So okay, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but I still think there's a lot of things they need to iron out here. I don't think they've quite thought this through, and they went quiet for it a little bit, but now they've shown us a bit more of how things are going and what is coming with their Scrapper. It's reason to believe that the rest of the figures will go the same way of Scrapper, have similar levels of articulation. So we'll just see how the combined mode looks when it comes. Also at the end, they've shown this estimated end of work line, end of 24-25, a Megatron on a throne. Now, Megatron in a Masterpiece grade, it's been done. It's not to say it can't be done, but okay. I like this though. I like this from third-party companies. Sometimes I think some companies bite off more than they can chew, and they put so much into one set, one team, one figure, that they then have no follow-up after it. And it's probably a case of strapped for funds of cash. I think Geiger Power were at fault for that. They put in a great Dinobot set and have done nothing since. But when a company comes up and says, this is what we're doing, but don't worry, this is what we want to do in the future, that says to me they've got at least some idea of what comes next, and it makes you want to invest in them a little bit because you want to see what comes next. When a company does nothing, that's not great. It kind of shows you like, well, why should I invest into your style, into your design, into your mould, if I'm not going to have any other figures to go along with it? On to Mastermind Creations now, MMC. Now, I can't remember if I've shown this before or this has actually been shown by broader release before, but this is a female version of Armada Megatron, and we're seeing some very good design on this. Now, of course, MMC did do a female version of Tarn, so it's not really that much of a surprise that this followed, because I think it's going to share a lot of the same engineering than the female version of Tarn. So, Armadodon, however you want to pronounce that. This is going to be what a female Megatron would look, and would look very slender, would look much the same, although I do like both the turrets coming from the underside. That's quite cool. With a split turret, it does give you that ability to do so. But moving on, we're into the Protector Bots. Now this, I think, is a very smart move. So, when this was first released, I wasn't entirely sure on this set, but I picked up First Aid and quite liked it. I got Streetwise, I quite like it, so I'm probably in on this set now. But what I think this is quite telling, this is Hotspot, this is the leader, this is the torso. They're showing us resin shots or very, very early prototype shots of the figure against the CAD drawing, against the design drawing. I think that's a way of them saying, we're on target, we're on point here. We are showing you how far we've got with this figure against the design that we showed you some months ago, and we haven't had to change anything. And I think that's a little bit of a flex, but a deserved one if they're quite confident in their design. They're saying that we've done this now and we think it's pretty much similar to what we showed you before. The vehicle mode again looks very identical, very nice. Very thick version. The only issue I had with this when I first saw it is I felt it just looked very similar to the G1 toy, a bit too similar, particularly when you see the base mode. But I have not been unhappy with the two previous offerings of Streetwise and First Aid, so I see no reason why I'm going to be unhappy with this. Hotspot was a bit of a favourite of mine as well, so that's going to be quite good. And we also get a very clear look at what Defensor's going to look like. And in torso mode, he looks quite good. He looks very well proportioned. I do wonder how big he's going to be, and I do still worry about the feet. We have these fold down legs from the back of Hotspot, and I'm not wild on it. But if it improves the vehicle's stability, or if it improves the combiner stability, then I'll be all for it. Interesting that he's got back cannons, very Bruticus-like, but we'll have to see how that goes. Still no word on when this is going to be set. I do think the rest of their figures are all up for pre-order. Remember, if you do like anything you've seen here, do go on to showz.com, and if you be oh so kind, you can put in the reviewer code FIRE1, which puts some points towards me. I can hopefully pick up some of these figures and review for you. I have got the likes of Scourge on pre-order, and I will be reviewing that the second it comes in, don't you worry. And there we go, that is a look at some of the third-party reveals at TFCon 23 in Los Angeles. Again, there was a lot more, but some we had seen before. And there were some like the likes of Iron Factory who decided to put out their entire squad. I wouldn't have time to go through all of that. But as I say, there is a link in the description below that you can go and have a look at some of the images and see what you think. But also, let me know what you think of some of these releases. Is there anything that you wanted to see? I was quite surprised that we didn't see Mate Toys here with some of their proposed releases, but maybe Planet X as well. But hey, you know, there's more to come. There will be more conventions, and I'm sure we'll see some leaks in all good time. But thanks for watching, and as always, I will see you on the next one.